We are now going to visit our vascular lab where we will meet our patient. For the last few weeks he has pain in his leg after walking. His general practitioner referred him to the Department of Vascular Surgery with a suspicion of intermittent claudication due to occlusive disease in the lower limb arteries. We decided to perform a duplex ultrasound examination with specific interest for the arteries in the lower limb.
The sonographer Hanneke Hemink is assessing the arteries in the leg, starting from the iliac arteries. Ultrasound with the characteristic 2D images provide us information where the arteries and veins are located by knowing the anatomy. By looking at the structure of the vessel wall and applying compression with a transducer, we can identify the artery. Next, we want to use Doppler to image the blood flow. We are interested in the direction of blood flow and the blood flow profile consisting of their velocities. To do so, there are several steps that need to be taken to obtain technically correct velocities. For simplicity, we assume that we already found the artery of interest and want to know if and how much the vessel is narrowed. First, we want to turn on the Doppler function on the ultrasound device. Usually, the sonographer can now apply a Doppler box superimposed on the 2D ultrasound, which can be moved and resized. The first question is, if this is an interesting artery, where should we place the Doppler box and how large should it be? Secondly, we should listen in a specific direction in which we want to hear the Doppler effect with our probe. Assume that we can hold the probe perpendicular to the skin and vessel and that we can electronically listen in various directions. Our next question is, what is the best direction for listening with respect to the blood vessel? Finally, we want to acquire information on the severity of the potential arterial narrowing. Using Doppler, we can measure blood flow and quantify this in a number. But which numbers are interesting? So, at which places relatively to the site of narrowing should we measure? When the velocity measurements using spectral Doppler are performed correctly, it gives us the following information when plotting the velocity information in a graph. We see peak systolic velocities of 59 centimeters per second and 563 centimeters per second. You have to figure out where we could have measured these values and how we should interpret them in this case.
In the ultrasound examination we used the dúplex technique. This gave us information about both the anatomy and the physiology of the lower limb arteries. We would like you to think about how to interpret this information correctly.